Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Let me tell you this story, you guys. You know what? Now and then I just miss, doing the storytelling that I used to do on this channel when I started, when I used to do the Zulu books. Listen to this story, you guys. Listen to this story. Okay, this story is for people abatandi or that have nothing to do with them, that won't change their lives, they won't change your life, they won't make your life better, they won't make your life worse, but you still want to hear about it. It's for those people. So, you know how this year, like most people are giving us these real vlogs where they are back home, which you never get because most of the time, all of the influencers disappear on the 23rd of December and they come back on the 2nd of January, because they just don't vlog at their real homes, okay, back in my car. But this year, for some reason, there's like a new trend where people are giving us real South African vlogs. So we are getting to see real Christmases this year. So this lady is also back at home showing us this is a home in the background and everything. It's the rural areas, you guys, listen. And it's still like, where I grew up, it's different now because now they've sold the land. There's just so many people, but we also used to have like distance between the neighbors. Okay, back then, you guys, it was considered, gossip was very important. So they were putting enough distances between the homes that you are able to gossip about your neighbor. Now you guys, it's like I can't gossip about the neighbor is here. How am I going to gossip about her? Okay, the gossip will go out the window and reach the neighbor before I wanted to reach the neighbor. So when we were growing up, where we grew up, you could sit outside under the tree, gossip about your neighbor. Okay, there was distance. Now it's in the rural area and she's showing us, okay, listen, I want to tell you guys the story, but you won't believe it unless I show you where the story took place. She's showing us like the forest. Guys, when I say forest, don't be thinking the Amazon, okay? If you grew up in the rural areas, where you fetch woods from, and when you're thinking woods, nakona, don't be thinking like what is that, a wrong 10 track with the big woods. No, the woods should just start the fire, is a kind of a situation. So she's showing us, guys, listen, you see this spot here, you see this spot here, this is where the story took place. Okay, now she starts telling the story. Okay, long ago when she was still younger, okay, she says they were living in Pilo Makaya, meaning with now and then she would go eyoteza. Ukuteza, for those who don't know, isiZulu is to go and get wood from ehlathini, but obviously you don't go and just pick it up. Uhamba nokucelemba and cut it and put it in a qoqo, put it ekhanda uhambe. Ukucakasha is like a smaller version yokutheza. Ukutheza is when you are looking for real like wood, like lots of it, but ukucokosha is when you just want a little bit so that you can just boil water to bath, or you're just looking for a little bit so that you can cook the shatin. You understand what I'm saying? So in the area, you guys, there are forests. Like I said, you guys, don't be thinking the Amazon, just think forest anyana. There's trees there in it, then there's neighbors, there's empty spaces. So when you have a space like that, again, where you grew up, you usually are not intimidated by ihlats. You're not intimidated by the forest because most of the time down the forest there's a river. That's where you fetch the woods and then you will cross to go get the water. So if it's the area you grew up in, you're not intimidated, because some people might ask themselves, what was she doing going to the forest alone? My bodies be showing. Hey, okay, guys. So she says, listen, this is where the story took place. She says, this is what happened. One day, she says she liked going to fetch wood from the forest because she really liked berries, guys. Some of us grew up in wild fruits, okay? Ama-berry lawa nina niwathenge woolworths thina beswadla nje ehlathini uhlangane nesihlahla sama-berry and it's ama-berry, So she says that she liked picking up ama-berry. So she would go ayoteza, even go alone. So she says this one time she's walking la endleleni, it's like a indlela yini kambe, like a path, the path that is created because people walk there, but nobody made an effort to create the path. Okay, it's not the road. Okay, it's a smaller path to walk. So 2 years as she's walking, ngoba she's going to get the woods, and she sees two girls, okay, sitting in that space that she was showing us. She says there are two girls sitting here. The other one looks like she is doing the other one's hair, but they look quite strange because they look like there's like a white thing on them. You know, like when you take umlota and you put it on you. Umlota is like the ashes where the fireplace is when it's not burning. You take the white thing, you put it on you. You know how you look like if you do that. Some of you never even did that. So they look like that, but Papa Tegile, you know. So she walks, she's just wondering what's happening with these two girls. What's about into like to hide the private parts, almost like Pampers kind of thing, you know. So she comes near them, but she says that the closer she was getting to them, the more the hair behind. Yes, that's the bekuhlasimula iy'nwele. And then she's wondering what's happening. Remember, it's daytime, you guys. It's not at night. So she can't even say she's seeing a ghost, because if your hair stand up like that, it's like you are seeing something that you're not really supposed to see with your natural eye. Okay. So her hair is standing up, but she continues to walk. When she gets closer to these girls, she realizes these girls are looking a little bit strange. But the girls look at her. When their eyes meet her eyes, then it's like the girls got scared, they ran. But before they run, she realizes something. What she realizes is that one of the girls is one of her sisters that they had buried few months ago. Okay, so her sister or sister cousin had passed away. The family had buried this young girl and mourned her, and they thought that they were done with this story. They were moving on with their lives. Now she sees her. Okay, while they run the other way, the two girls, she runs the other way and she goes and tells the grandmother. She says, Gogo, I saw Ubani la payana with the other girl. The Gogo's like, Ubani, you know. So everybody doesn't believe her. You know, she tells the Gogo, instead they shouted her, was no, when you are crazy. It can't be. We buried that person not so long ago. What are you talking about? Okay. Now she gives up on the story because obviously nobody believes her. And I don't blame them. If somebody died, you guys, and you came and say you saw them, especially during the day, who's going to believe that you just saw them? Okay. So she gives up on that, but she knows, Yena, that I saw her. I know that was my sister. Nobody might believe me, but I know that was my sister. After a few days, she goes back for Eoteza. Also, when she goes Eoteza, she passes by the place where they were the first time. There's nobody there. She goes now deep into the woods in the forest. Okay, I remember it's not Amazon kind of situation, but she goes in, she starts ateze. While she's busy gathering the woods, busy gathering the woods, she hears people talking. Okay. When she tries to listen, she can hear what people are talking, but it's not like it's a language. You know, it's not like you can say Bakulumi Zulu, Batini, you can't make out the words, okay? So she listens closely, and people, it's more like sounds like, oh, you can see they're communicating, but it's like, oh, a language that you can't even recognize. So she decides to walk straight to the area where the sound is coming from. When she gets there, when she sees the people, it's the two girls, okay? Again, she sees that one of the girls is her sister. When they see her again, they run. She also runs back home. She gets home, she's like, I saw them again. Gogo is like, hi man, what's going on with you seeing your sister? Okay. So now remember, if you start seeing people that have passed, people usually think there's something wrong with you, or they will think that you have some kind of a gift. Now, even though they still don't believe her, but Gogo decides that maybe it's time to go see Ilokuzana, to go see abantu ababonayo, because apparently this child, even though this one is saying bekusiswakhe, but she's also saying that was Gogo's daughter, you know, that kind of a situation. I wasn't clear, was it her aunt or whatever, but what's in Tombazane Yasekai, as if it's her sister. But she also says that it was Gogo's child. Okay. Now, you guys, Goku decides, it's time to see abantu ababonayo, okay, guys. You know, if you grew up back in the day where Izangoma and Inyanga used to be honest people that will give you some answers and solutions on, Sangomas were not about trending, some of us now and then, phela bekufika umuntu nje ekhaya athi ukuqinisa nje umuzi. You understand what I'm saying? Athi ukuthi gqiba something at the gate, athi ukuthi turn around. So ukubiza abantu ababonayo was not like a strange thing. Okay, so I guess back then where she grew up, they are still doing the whole thing. Okay, so ugogo decides ukuthi she's going to go ayobona umuntu obonayo just to find out what's going on. Why is this child seeing things? But she doesn't take her with ugogo doesn't take this girl with her. She goes to ugogo ayobona. My boy ugogo, she's like, listen, this is what the Sangoma said. Okay, the Sangoma said, I don't know if it's Sangoma Mtandas, but somebody that was able to see the situation. And she says, listen, this is what the Sangoma said. The Sangoma said that your sister is not dead. Okay? She says that uthwejuliwe, guys. I have no idea, But apparently, when someone uthwejuliwe, you still get to bury them. So you think your family member has died, so you bury somebody. You are actually burying an animal. Spiritually, you are burying an animal. But physically, you will see the person in the coffin. Okay, so the family had the girl had died. They buried her, but the Inyanga says, it wasn't her. Yeah, and she had been taken to be turned into umkov. Now Inyanga says that when she was taken with this other girl. Even Inyanga doesn't know where the girl is from, okay? She says when they got to where they were Twechulwad, they did the whole process on them. They put umuti on them. They cut them because she says that, okay, let me not say that because you're supposed to find that out at the end. So she says that they put muti on them, babakaba, everything. Now, the last step, okay, was for them to put a nail here on them to like complete the process of turning them into imkov. But for some reason, they were able to escape. Her and the girl were able to escape. So this other girl followed her to the area where her home is, this one, because this one was trying to find her way home. But for some reason, it's like the area to her is familiar, but she cannot identify which one is her home. And also when she sees Abantu Bagobo, she cannot recognize them because everything that was done to her was done so that she does not recognize Ikaya and does not recognize her family. The last nail that is put on you here is supposed to be the final thing that is going to make you not even remember, not even have a feeling to want to go back home. So since they escaped before that was done, she was still able to run and get home, get in the area, but she doesn't know where she's supposed to go there. Okay. Now, ugogo, now she's starting to believe, okay, I guess it means that this girl was seeing something. So she decides after going ayobona inyanga or isangoma, whoever it was, she decides that now it's time for her to go ayotez. So she goes to the forest to go. And she says that ugogo yena used to go deep in the forest when she was looking for woods because obviously she was less scared, okay? And also she was looking for inkune inkulu, okay, ugogo. So ugogo goes, okay. When she gets there, ugogo naye atheze, but obviously at the back of her mind whether she's looking to see is she going to show up, this this girl. Naye ugogo at some point she hears some sounds and then she goes and looks and she sees them. The girl sees ugogo, runs, the same thing, runs. Okay, now ugogo comes back and is like, I saw her too. Okay, I think in Bonilla now they are calling the neighbors, calling the men of the area. Now it's a search party. Now they're looking for her because Ugogo is like, the child was not lying. I saw her. She is alive. Okay. Okay, now it's the whole community looking. They look for a long time. They look until they find her. But when they find her, they don't know what happened to the other girl who was not from the area because they could only recognize one. Okay, so they find her, but they don't find the other girl, which she says, go to this day, it's a mystery who that girl was and where she ended up. Okay, so now you guys, she says that okay, the community finds her, brings her, they bring her home. She looks like an animal. She looks like she was eating grass. There's grass stuck in her teeth. There are things that are in it, inside her teeth, like Isangoma was busy doing something. Guys, I don't even know if it was a Sangoma that twibbled her, but you know. And you guys, under the nail, there was something that was put under her nail. You can see meat on her body, but they could see it's her. The community is shocked. How do we help you guys to bury somebody, and then now you are telling us you are seeing her around, and we help you to look, and then you find her? Like, how is that happening? So she ends up people abantu abalaphayo, inyanga, whatever, mtandazi, whatever it is, they take her there so that they can clean her up and take out umuthi. And that was a process to just clean her up and get her back to somewhat normal. She says that on her tongue there was something that was hooked, almost like it would be when you are fishing, like when you're fishing and then the fish gets hooked into the hook thing. She says that she had something on her tongue. So they work on her. She gets back to somewhat normal. And just when they are happy that she's back to normal, and then she says she didn't live for not even more than 2 months. Now she really dies. Now, obviously, they have to do the funeral because they can see it's her, even though here is her grave here. They still have to bury her because now, what are they going to do? The community does what it does. Really, when black communities, when somebody dies, even though they have questions, but they're still going to come and help you to bury the person. They bury her. But she says what happened was that after that story, the community started questioning them now to say, no, something is fishy here. How are we helping you bury your family member twice? What did you do to your family member? So in the community, she says she grew up people thinking that like the family, the community, she grew up with the community thinking that her family was a family of witches, because people couldn't make sense of the fact that the family had buried somebody, but at the end it turned out that it wasn't the person that the community thought it was. So people were basically under the impression that they were the ones that had done something to the sister, and then when the sister was running away, then that's where they told the community, but they were called witches because of that story. Okay, so she says that yes, all stories of Twitchola, guys, is con. I remember when we were growing up, you guys, some of the stories wouldn't make sense because you were trying to make sense of it, like physically, because the nail on the thing on your head thing had always been in stories that we were told even as children. They would talk about the nail that goes in here. But how they always explained it was that umkovu uba umuntu omfishane, like a short person. So they would say, when they put the nail on you, then you become short, which is something that physically doesn't make sense. If I'm this tall, how does putting a nail here turned me into a short person on Kovu? I guess at the time nobody was explaining that it is more spiritual than anything else. So here is your story, you guys. Okay, like I said, this story has nothing to do with your life. It won't make your life better, it won't make it worse. It's just us. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Tell me what you think about this in the comment section. Do you have somebody in your community where it was said that somebody was twitchulwat? Okay, thank you so much. Ngenithanda.